recording, guys, just so I don't forget, because I do that. And so in the future, if I forget to start recording, somebody please jump on and remind me. But welcome to the fall semester. How are you guys doing? I've kind of missed students. This is the part where you talk to me, because I will sit here awkwardly. I'm totally fine with awkward silence. So
Good morning.
good morning, Cheyenne. How are you?
Good, chilling.
Chilling. How was your
Yeah.
summer?
It was kind of boring, honestly. We're been doing nothing.
Well, that means you're resting, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Tessa and Courtney and Emily and Luz, how are you guys?
Good.
Good. So, and I see a few others. I actually recognize quite a few people, so that's good. It feels good after, a year of being online to actually recognize people again. So that's awesome. We got a couple more coming in. Hey, Courtney, how are things at the farm?
Good. I just got back yesterday, so just doing kind of an inventory and figuring out what we need to do with the small unit this semester.
Awesome. You guys still have a bunch of babies, or are they?
Yeah, we actually have 5 sows in the crate right now. So, and then our grow barn's full. So if you know anybody that wants to buy some pigs, we got some.
Okay, lots of pigs. Oh my goodness. You guys need to put some stuff out on social media, because I bet there's people that are wanting some to feed out. So
I give Brendan flyers, and whether they get posted or not, that's on him, because he won't give us the password to the social media link.
Oh gosh.
I make the flyers, they just maybe don't get out all the time.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna switch to a different view. So welcome to Grazing Ecology. I recognize like a handful of you guys were in ANSC 294 with me last spring, so this is going to be a great transition for you. We're going to take a deeper dive into more the animals' role in different ecological principles. So how do animals, really affect plant production and soil quality and soil health and a lot of those different things. And so I'm excited. This is a class that I've developed from the ground up in response to not only an overwhelming interest from students, but also a plea from industry to get more students out there with knowledge of rangelands. And so we're gonna have a good semester. I've got some fun things planned for you. Everything is still a little bit up in the air. That's why the syllabus looks a little bit unorganized at the bottom where the schedule is at, if you've had a chance to look at that. I've got a bunch of guest speakers in the lineup, and the site that we were going to use for our grazing management plan is now part of the Dixie Fire. So I'm trying to find a different site to use for our grazing management plan. And so just kind of stick tight. I think I've got one lined up. So, but we won't get into kind of the major lab components of the class for a few weeks. So the first couple of weeks are always a little bit crazy. And I'm traveling a bunch for actually range type conferences. So this week I go to California Cattlemen's Mid-Year Convention at Paso Robles to get updates on what we've been doing over the last year and a half and kind of helping to set directives for cattle producers and for legislation for the next year. And then in 2 weeks, I actually attend the Public Lands Council annual meeting in Oregon. And that is going to be a fun one, because that is range professionals from all over the US, really kind of setting policy on how rangelands get utilized by grazing animals. So not only cattle, but sheep and wildlife as well. And so I'm going to be talking with you guys a lot about what I learned from those conferences as well. But today I wanted to, first of all, get a chance to see you guys, even virtually. I've got a couple of things that I want to do, but really quickly first, just to get us kind of back in the groove of school and participation and that type of stuff, I've got a really quick, let's see, just poll question through Poll Everywhere. So let me drop the link into the chat. Let one more person in. There we go. All right, so there is the link. Let me make sure I've got this activated. There we go. We should be activated now. All right, so just really quickly, whether it's on the website or through a text message or whatever, just tell me one fun thing you did over this summer. So we'll take a couple minutes here. Is that link working for you guys?
Not for me.
Okay.
You just have to copy and paste.
We've got a couple more people coming in, so I'm going to put it in the chat again. All right. Let me share my screen so we can see what everybody did. All right. Went to the beach. Sweet. Oregon, Washington. Oh, Grey's Anatomy. That's a good show. Beach. Went to Florida. Awesome. Moving. Less awesome. Lots of horse riding. Oh, Cordy, did you intern at Superior?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. How was that?
It was a really good time. I was able to look at all different aspects of the plant. So it was really informative.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, a kindergarten summer school class. Wow, you are a good person. I had my niece and my nephews for a good part of the summer, and whew, man almighty, I was ready for them to go home. They are 7, 5, and 2 now. It's crazy. Okay, worked the entire summer at the university farm. I had a few summers like that myself. Learning how to golf. Oh, good. That's awesome. Working at a vet clinic. Good. San Diego and Lake Tahoe. Ooh, who went to Hawaii? Everybody's being shy. That's awesome. I went to Hawaii too. It was one of those weird things. So my sister, it was supposed to be a marriage conference for my sister and my brother-in-law, and he ended up with COVID, so I got to go. It was pretty cool. I didn't end up doing a lot of the conference, but we did a lot of touristy things in Maui, so that was fun. Went to a music festival. That's great. Worked at the Meats Lab. Luz, I'm going to guess that one is you. And then spent time with godsons. That's awesome. All right. Oh, okay. So Nitzi, do I have noise in my background? Can you guys hear me okay?
I don't hear any noise in your background, Casey.
Okay, sweet. All righty. Well, thank you guys for that. What I want to, oh, that's a new share. There's so many. Okay. Quick question. What are you guys seeing right now? Are you seeing the Poll Everywhere responses? Okay, good. Zoom updated and I don't really know what all is new quite yet. So, all right. So we're going to stop sharing real quick. I'm going to pull you guys back over to where I can see you better. All right, so my goal today is to kind of walk through how the class is going to be organized and make sure that we all have a good understanding of what our tasks and that we need to accomplish this week are. And then when we get to the end of the hour, I want to spend a little bit of time, as time permits, talking about rangeland and what your interests are and what you are hoping to get out of the class. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch back over and share my screen, and we'll look at Blackboard together. All right, so with Blackboard, this all kind of finally came together this morning. So this may be the first time you're looking at that, and that is totally fine. Our welcome screen is pretty basic. The only thing that's on here is just the figure and then the Pronto app down here. So for those of you guys that have used Pronto before, it's probably going to be pretty seamless. I had to go through and kind of I had to get Pronto to update to load my classes for this fall on my phone. So if you guys need help with that, ITSS does a really good job with it. And there's also some instructions and stuff on the Chico State website that can help you with that as well. All right, so we're going to be working, I'm going to try to keep Blackboard as simple and as easy to use as possible. And so we're going to really be working out of these 4 major categories up here. And this is not the student view. So let me go ahead and enter student view. All right, so most or all of the course content, with the exception of our lab stuff, which is going to be called the grazing management plan, is going to be in this link here. And so it just says start here. So it's an easy place for you guys to navigate to. And week 1's material is going to be in a module. And so within the week 1 material, there is a really quick briefing. This briefing is the same thing that will go out in the emails. And I have found over the last couple of semesters that it helps you guys, alleviate some stress. It definitely helps me to stay organized. That we are going to do a kind of a hybrid class. So the lecture piece will be mostly asynchronous, and then lab is going to be synchronous, but on Zoom. And so the way that the way that I've seen this class really be successful is to make sure that we have at least 1, if not 2, Zoom sessions per week. It kind of keeps people on track, is an opportunity for you to ask questions, for us to have a really good discussion, etc. And so the weekly briefing will go out every Friday. It's hopefully will go out before noon on Fridays, but sometimes it gets to be the afternoon or the evening, depending on how crazy things are on my end. And so that email, the text of that email will also be posted as an item in the week or in the module each week as well. So you're getting consistent messages. And so this is what just went out this morning. And it just gives you kind of a rundown of where we're starting and what is due this week. And so we do have a handful of stuff that's due this week. It's not super intensive. It's more to just get you guys familiar with some of the tools that we're going to be using this semester. All right, so first and foremost, let's walk through the syllabus real quick. If it'll take us there, it's just a Google Doc. And let me blow it up a little bit so we can see. So with as far as the best way to communicate with me, that is either going to be through Pronto or through email. And so I need everybody to pay attention to this. So please don't email me about class stuff to my normal Chico State email account. Please email through Blackboard. And so that is over here. So when you guys need to, communicate with me, have questions, if there's videos that aren't working, all of that good stuff, please email through Blackboard. And the reason that this becomes important is because I'm going to switch gears and show you the mess that is my email right now, okay? So I have lots of email that I just haven't got to yet, but when an email comes in from somebody that's enrolled in my class that's sending it through Blackboard, it automatically ties the class to the email. And so this helps me to know what class of mine you're in, because I teach 3 different ones. I teach 3 different discussions as well as a lab for this class too. So I have a lot of students that I'm responsible for this semester, up around 200. And so just being able to connect a student with the class is always kind of step 1 for me. And so that's what the function of emailing through Blackboard will do. And so please, if you've got stuff about class, please email through the Blackboard account. If you have outside stuff like job questions, farm questions, just general questions for Casey, it's totally fine to use my Chico State email. And that is I think I forgot to pull it off the website. So, but anyway, any questions about communication this semester? Okay. It takes me a minute to relearn Zoom. Sorry. Okay. So let's go back to Blackboard. So as far as the syllabus, you guys can read through the course description. We're really going to be looking at North American rangelands. We're going to spend a little bit more time talking about California's ecosystem a little bit more in depth compared to other parts of the West. We'll mention other parts of the West for sure, and we may do some case studies in other ecosystems, but we're going to concentrate on California. There is a required textbook. And it's not very expensive. And it doesn't have anything to do with range curriculum, but it is, let me show you really quickly. All right. So it is this book right here. It's called, ooh, it's kind of hard, sorry. It's called Strength Finders. Okay, so Clifton Strength Finders. And this is a really great book. Not only are we going to use it in this class, but it's actually kind of a personality typing system that is really focused on your strengths. And so this is going to help you not only in this class, because we're going to do quite a bit of group work and that type of thing, but I'm really hoping that it's a life thing. So it helps you to start kind of drilling down into what your strengths are, what your strengths are not, which is sometimes as important, right? And we're going to do a whole lab around Strength Finders towards the beginning of class. So about week 3 is when week 3 or week 4. Week 4 is when we'll do an activity around Strength Finders. So this you can get off of Amazon. You can get an electronic copy if you want, like a Kindle copy. What you need to do is just make sure that and you can also go to the Strength Finders website. You can just search it really quickly and purchase it that way as well. The most important part of this is you need not only the book, you also need the ability to take the quiz, okay? And so what I did a couple of years ago is I bought the book, and in the back, it had this envelope, that envelope right there that you opened up, and it had a code. And it sent you to a website. You punched the code in, and then you were able to take the quiz. And so this quiz, take some time to take it. It will probably take you 20 to 25 minutes. There's lots of questions, and it's all about how you deal with situations and what your interests are and those type of things. And so between now and week 4, I need you guys to at least get access to the book and take the quiz, okay? And make sure to either print your results out or have them electronically so that we can look at them during that lab. All right, so that's the required text is the Strength Finders book. If you guys are interested in going into any aspect of range management, whether it's like ranch management, you're into wildlife, you're into plants or whatever, another good book is not required, recommended, is this book is a little bit hard to see, but it's called Range Management Principles and Practices, and it's by Dr. Holacek, Dr. Piper, and Dr. Herbal. And so this is kind of the premier textbook for everything range in the US, and so it's a good one as well. Okay, and oh, you know what? Let's see. Let me check something real quick. Come on. Yeah, we're good. All right, so some things that we are going to be working through as far as the grading system and stuff here is I'm trying to keep everything, the amount of work to a minimum. So we're going to do some really my goal is to not have busy work. I am not about that, and I don't want to grade it, in all honesty. And so the stuff that we're going to do is going to be a pretty deep dive into whatever we've been studying. So for us to kind of learn throughout the semester, we're going to do weekly quizzes. And so the whole class is set up in a week by week basis. So every week you're going to see a module on Blackboard pop up, instructions for what is due, that will also come out in the email. You'll see lecture videos and you'll see a quiz. And then some weeks we'll have additional activities and stuff even outside of lecture. And so the way that the grading procedures break down is that our lecture quizzes are going to be about 150 points throughout the semester. We'll have activities, case studies, listen to some podcasts, and we'll have guest lecture summaries as well. That'll be about 33% of your grade. We'll have the semester project, which is us authoring a grazing management plan for a site. And then we will also have a comprehensive final exam as well. And so again, not a lot of busy work, because it's more important for me that you guys get something out of what we're studying. All right, so with attendance and extra credit, attendance for the lab is going to be required. If for some reason you can't make it to a lab section on Wednesday afternoons, communicate with me ahead of time, okay? I don't do real well with somebody missing a lab and then replying back with, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I had to go out of town or something like that. If some sort of emergency comes up, I will absolutely work with you. But for the most part, if you guys can let me know ahead of time, that would be good. The labs will partially be recorded. Some of the labs are also going to be like times where we work for 30 minutes in breakout rooms. Okay, so that part isn't going to be recorded. And so when it comes to attendance, you guys can get some extra credit for attendance. We'll keep doing some some poll everywhere questions as well. And that's how I'll keep attendance that way. And then you also will have the ability to do 2 summaries of peer-reviewed articles. And that assignment I'll get put up here in a little bit as well. And so research and peer-reviewed articles is a big part of this discipline. So I want you guys to be as familiar with that as possible. And then all the reviews are due Friday, December 10th, not by 5 p.m., by 11:59 p.m. All right, so we are going to work this semester with deadlines every Friday at 11:59 p.m. Okay. All right, so all of the quizzes, all of the assignments, everything will be due on Friday by 11:59 p.m. There won't be any other off dates. So just make sure that that is kind of in the forefront of your mind. All right, normal grading scale, and then late work. So late work, I've tweaked the last couple of semesters and I finally figured one out that doesn't sacrifice my integrity, but still works for you guys, because I know things come up, especially the middle of the semester tends to get really, really busy because you've got 5 and 6 other classes to also deal with as well. So I understand stuff gets missed. So here's the late work policy for this class. Okay, the lecture quizzes will not be accepted late. I've got everything on a timer in Blackboard, and it can't differentiate the late work stuff. Okay, so the lecture quizzes have to be turned in every Friday by 11:59 p.m. So keep that in mind, please. Other work like self-studies, podcast summaries, case studies, the grazing management plan, etc. Those things will be accepted for up to 3 days past the due date. So for example, if are going to have a podcast summary due this Friday at 11:59 p.m. If for some reason you can't get it turned in on Friday, you turn it in on Saturday, you'll get 90% of the points. If you turn it in on Sunday by 11:59 p.m., you'll get 80% of the points. And if you turn it in on Monday by 11:59 p.m., you will get 70% of the points. Okay, after Monday, then it automatically goes to half credit. Okay, and you also have the ability to turn in these assignments by what I'm calling pardon day, which is Friday, December 10th of this semester. Okay, so all the work needs to be turned in by that point in time if you want half credit. So any questions about the late work policy? I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay, so if you guys are good with the late work policy, I mean, you don't get to really influence it, but you understand it, just give me a thumbs up or something, okay? Great, thank you. All right. Let's go back to the syllabus. All right. As far as assignment submission stuff, it's all going to be done through Blackboard. It's all going to be links, and you guys are going to be uploading PDF documents for the most part. Okay, so this becomes really important. Please don't upload a Word document, because the conversion process during uploading absolutely shifts everything around. So please save it as a PDF before you submit it. There are lots of campus resources listed out in the syllabus as well. We at Chico State want to be an inclusive environment, and my colleague from across campus, Dr. Crosby, allowed me to take her quote here, and you guys can read through it, but I really just want to have a really inclusive environment. So please, you know, feel like this is a safe space to express your opinion. I'm not going to go tell anybody. It might be recorded, just FYI, and those type of things. But always, please feel like you can come to me with any complaints, any praises, that type of thing. All right. Academic integrity, I have a lot of it. Please don't mess that up. Okay. I do not deal well with plagiarism issues, so just don't do it and we're going to be fine. Or cheating. Cheating is also a big pet peeve of mine too. And so I think they're still making you guys go through COVID training. I don't know. The university is a little bit wish-washy right now on some of this stuff. As far as other resources on campus, I've got them all kind of linked in here. So IT support, I need to say this really quickly, guys. I am not IT support. All right. If you have issues like the video, you know, videos aren't released and that type of thing, that's absolutely my area. If you have video or issues like videos won't play because of something, that's ITSS. Okay. I am not tech support. I've never claimed to be. I can barely turn my computer on some days. So please just keep that in mind. But ITSS does a great job with student needs. I work with ARC and students all the time. So if you guys have some needs, especially around quizzing, final exams, that type of thing, please feel free to reach out to them and myself as well. And we will absolutely make those accommodations for you. All right, and then there's a whole list of services that I've got listed here in the syllabus as well. So please feel free to check those out as well. All right, and then kind of the fun part is the schedule down at the bottom. And so this week we are looking at, oh, we don't have a survey, so that needs to come out. We are going to be watching a video, a really 15-minute video about the history of rangeland, or the introduction to range management. And there will also be a Padlet assignment, the lecture quiz about the rangelands, and a podcast also due. So I need to put this back in because it got deleted. Gosh. All right, and then next week, our content will take us through physical characteristics of rangelands and then rangelands of the US and the world. And for those of you guys that joined me in ANSC 294, these first 3 weeks are going to look fairly familiar to you, okay? It'll be a good review, but it's really important to me that everybody in this class is up to the same point before we start taking a deep dive into some of these more precise principles. All right, and then we're going to get into ecology and why it's important, what it is, and how it acts on rangelands. And then we'll look at the different pieces of the ecological cycles and how that animal actually interacts with that. And so we're going to have a variety of guest speakers, hopefully, as long as everybody is still committed. And we're also going to be writing a grazing management plan, as that's going to be our lab activity for a piece of property that is up here actually around our ranch. And they requested us to actually come in and help them write the grazing management plan. So the people that manage this property, it's a combination of PG&E and NRCS, and they needed a range management plan. And so they asked us as a class to do it. So there's going to be people that are going to be looking at what you guys create during this semester, which is fun. No pressure. It's going to be fine. All right, any questions about the syllabus? Any questions about the schedules? Okay, so everything, keep in mind, is going to be due Fridays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so that's the big takeaway. All right, let's go back to Blackboard. And we'll get through what we've got going this week. All right, so in Blackboard, you have two folders. You've got a lecture folder and then activities and assignments. So in the lecture folder, there is a link to just a short video about me, kind of my background, what I do at Chico State. And then for our first lecture, there is a note guide, and these are partial notes. So they have parts of the text that are on the slides actually deleted out of them, so you guys can write in them. And so you feel free to do that however you want to. If you want to take your own notes, that's absolutely okay. This is just a guide that's an option for you. And then lecture number 1 is a YouTube video, about 15 minutes long this week, and you only have one of them. And so this is just an introduction to rangelands and management. And so you will also see right underneath here a lecture quiz pop up. And so the idea is that you go through the lecture or the notes, you watch the lecture, you go back through your notes, and then you take a quiz before Friday at 11:59 p.m. And so that quiz was giving me some problems this morning, so I'll get it up in the next couple of hours. All right, the other thing that we have going this week is we've got 2 other activities to do. Okay, so the first one is a Padlet survey, or is just a Padlet entry. And so if you go to this link here, it'll take you to Padlet, and I've already got mine posted, but this is just a way for us to kind of get to know each other outside of the classroom. So what I would like you guys to do is before Friday at the end of day, go to this link, and then you can add in a post for you. And in that post, you can put your preferred name or your pronouns if you would like, what your major is, when you expect to graduate, what your future career is. It's absolutely okay to say, I have no idea, okay? And then also the third thing, what's your motivation for taking this class? If it's a requirement, that's absolutely okay as well. Where your hometown is at, and then one activity that you like doing on rangeland. Okay, so keep in mind that rangelands are public lands like U.S. Forest Service land, Bureau of Land Management land. So there's lots of recreational activities. Or you could just do something fun that you like doing on private lands. But my goal here is to get you to start thinking about things that can be done on land, okay? And then I would also put in a photo. I always see lots of students in pets. I think that's awesome. That's totally fine. This is actually me hiking at Lassen Park, not this year because it's on fire, but last year. And then once you get these entered, go back and comment on 3 classmates posts, okay? And just make sure that when you make your comments, it's associated with your name and not anonymous, all right? And let's keep those positive and uplifting. Let's not be critical on our comments. I don't usually have to worry about that with you guys. All right. So that is the Padlet assignment. Go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. Did the old ones get deleted?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, I think I did mine already on there, so I think I'll just have to go back and do another one.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry. I just went through and deleted them all this morning
It's okay.
because
Okay.
I forgot to do it from last year.
Okay, sounds good.
Sorry, Tessa. Okay, our second activity is going to be for you. You guys sometime this week are going to listen to about an hour. I think it's 50 minutes, an hour-long podcast. And so this podcast it's linked to SoundCloud, but you can find it on, you can find the Art of Range podcast on like the iPhone podcast thing. You can find it on Spotify, etc. And so the name of the podcast is The Art of Range. And the episode that I would like you guys to listen to and answer questions about is episode 34. It is a talk that Dr. Lynn Huntsinger gave at the Society for Range Management in 2020, right before we went into quarantine. And so this podcast, Dr. Huntsinger talks all about forests, rangelands, fires, and grazing. So kind of a lot of stuff that we deal with. And the reason that she focused on these areas of range management is because she is an emeritus professor out of UC Berkeley, which has a pretty extensive range program. And so she's done a lot for rangeland management in California and through the West and internationally throughout her entire career. And so she gives a really good overview of some of the things that she has seen, especially around fires and grazing. And so listen to that, take some notes, and then with that, the next link under here are some questions that I would like you guys to answer. And you can do this through the discussion or through the discussion board. Okay, and so I've got to remember, let me get out of here really quickly because go back to my page. There we go. All right, so discussions are going to be over here on the left-hand side, and you can go in here, and our first discussion is where you go in and create a thread, and you answer those questions that were right here. So I need to go in and edit this date. So it's due the 27th. And so really, who is Dr. Hunsinger? Why is increasing fire activity such a problem all over the world, not just in California? What was unique about the campfire and how it started? What were 2 things you learned from the podcast? What is your takeaway from the information presented in the talk? And then in addition to answering those questions, I would like you guys to go back and respond to 2 classmates' discussion posts as well. All right, so just a really quick discussion board. And all of this is to just get us starting to think about rangelands, what can happen on rangelands, and how rangelands are affected by major natural disasters. All right, so that is week 1. Okay, so just as a reminder, we've got quiz for lecture 1 due on Friday. We've got the Padlet post plus commenting on 3 students' posts due Friday. And we've got the Art of Range podcast summary discussion board due Friday by end of day, which is 11:59 p.m. So any questions about what is due this week and what we're doing? Everybody's good? Okay. All right. Okay, we got about 5 minutes left. I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys interested in? And you can use the chat or you can talk to me. I know it's a novel concept. You guys can talk to me about what you're interested in learning about or learning more about relative to this class this semester. What are you excited about?
Learning about different livestock feed conversion when looking at rangelands compared to like regular forage, that like hay and grain.
Great. We're going to do a lot of that because we're also calculating stocking rates. So you guys are going to be master stocking rate calculators. Great. What else?
Something I'm really looking into is kind of how wildlife and like wildlife and like livestock interact in terms of like the whole rangeland situation.
Yeah, say more about that, Courtney. So are you interested in like how they utilize the space differently, or food sources, or production parameters? What are you interested in?
Like space and how they utilize the forage in terms of like, I know last semester we talked a lot about how the percentage of different wildlife or like the burrows or how livestock shared that grazing land in terms of how to be the most efficient in terms of feeding.
Cool.
I don't know if that makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah. If we get approved to write the grazing plan for the site that I'm hoping we are, wildlife is one of their main production parameters. So they actually manage for wildlife before they manage for cattle grazing. So that'll be fun. Awesome. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have one. Just like the careers that you could do in the grazing and management side, because I'm kind of interested in that, but I don't really know what careers.
Yeah, that's good. We're going to talk about careers all the way through the class. I'll tell you guys right now, this is a profession that needs young blood. There are so many people retiring, they actually cannot fill the positions right now. And so you can see employment around, range management with the federal agencies like US Forest Service, Park Service, Bureau of Land Management. We've got several graduates in those positions right now. It could be through a private agency. It could be through just a private landowner, like being a ranch, a ranch manager, or a wildlife management area manager. It could be doing advocacy work, like with wild horses. There's so many things out there right now, and there are so many positions open. So we'll definitely make some time to talk about jobs, and that's where kind of this assessment, the strength finder stuff will come in handy, because here's the thing with range management, okay, and with a lot of stuff in agriculture, it's not siloed, right? So when we look at a piece of land, we have to think about how the soil is going to react to grazing pressure, how the plants are going to react to grazing pressure, what recreation is going to take place on it, what native plants are being produced there, and a million other considerations. So this takes a lot of expertise from a lot of different people. And if you don't work well with people, it's going to be a really hard job for you. And so that's where these kind of figuring out the strengths will really help with your role in like a project, that type of thing. So cool, jobs, we can make that happen. What else? So I see we've got Alex, who's been in several of my classes, Kelvin, Brianna, Lisa, anybody else? What are you guys excited about learning about?
I'm also interested in how wildlife interacts with the different ecosystems that we'll be talking about.
Awesome.
And also how wildfires affect all that as well.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about fire a lot because we deal with it a lot. So I'm excited to see what you guys take away from Dr. Hunsinger's podcast, because she hits fire quite a bit in there. So fire can be good. It can also be super devastating, just depending on how it occurs. All right, how about 2 more people, and then we'll let you get off of here.
I'm interested in like the preservation of our rangeland, but without doing harm. I guess like I know we're trying to preserve the spotted owl and reduce logging and open up more lands to the public, but then they did that as like a preservation effort, but then sometimes it hinders it, and now we look at like a black landscape. So like kind of the balance between preservation but then also like using that rangeland.
Yep. And it's a delicate balance, and there is a lot of people at the table that are fighting for their specific thing. So yeah, we'll talk a lot about conservation efforts, and what conservation really needs to look like in the future, because just because we're doing it today doesn't necessarily mean it's sustainable for the future. So all right, one more. Anybody else care to share?
I think I'm interested in kind of everything put together. I can't really pinpoint a specific area of study that I just want to focus on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is very much a systems class. So it's not like other classes that I teach where we concentrate on like just repro, right? Or just nutrition. So this is a systems class. So we're going to look at all of those things and how it plays into the whole entire cycle. So we are very much going to train you guys to think like, or what I define as system thinkers. So excellent. Well, thank you so much to everybody that participated, and thank you guys for being here. Please let me know if you have any questions. The quiz for about lecture 1 will be up in the next couple of hours. And just keep in mind, we've got that Friday due date. And for the next couple of weeks, well, for next week for sure, we're going to meet at 10 a.m. On Monday. just to kind of get our thoughts together and get our goals for the week. And then next week we will have lab, but we won't have lab this Wednesday because I'll be at a conference, and you guys probably are going to be overwhelmed by a lot of classes, right? So let's not go into lab first thing this week. So no lab this week. And that was in the email as well. All right, so I will plan on seeing you guys next Monday at 10 a.m. Yes, Luz, I'll stay on.
Thank you.
You bet.